Hello there, my name is Georgie Newbery and I'm a flower farmer and florist based between fashionable Bruton and up and coming Wincanton. And I thought, since it's a horrible rainy day, although a shaft of sunlight is pouring into the yard, but still it's generally a horrible day, I thought I would enjoy one of my most favourite activities, which is pricking out seedlings. And you might like some information about pricking out. As a horticultural term, I can imagine if you didn't know what I meant, you'd think, what on earth is she talking about pricking out? Well, what happens is you sow a tray of seed, it germinates. Sometimes the seed germinates in a bit of a clump like this. And if you then prick out the seedlings so that they each have their own little pot, like this one, then the seedlings have plenty of room to grow on to be good-sized plants, which in this case, they're foxgloves, I can plant out in September for flowering next spring. But the principle remains the same for anything that you're sowing, whether it's hardy annuals, tender annuals, biennials, these, or perennials. So pricking out is the activity of the day here. By the way, if you enjoy these videos, please do subscribe. Somewhere here is a subscribe button and press the bell icon and we will let you know when we have new videos. So here we have a tray of seedlings and I have got a national collection of plastic pots. I keep these in a greenhouse in the dark under the shelving, and they are plastic, it's true. But until I have broken them all, I'm going to use all my plastic blocks. And believe me, I have practically an unending supply. Some of them are so old, I was given them by my mother when we set up a garden here first in 2004. It's now 2014. No, it's not, it's 2021. And so I'm not going to throw them in the bin just because they are plastic, because then I'll have to buy something else and that'll be a waste of money, waste of resources. I may as well use them until they're all finished up. So when I have finished with a pot, I use them all the time. I give them a quick rub down, a quick rinse under the tap so that when I need to use them again, they're clean. And then I will put this out of the way and I will fill it up with compost. Now, obviously, the compost I'm using is peat free because peat-based compost is not, using peat-based compost is not sustainable. We will run out of peat. And also peat is full, it's a huge carbon sequester. And so as an eco business, I could no more use a peat-based compost than I could fly to the moon. And so this is called sylvagrow. They are not paying me to say this. This is from sylvagrow, which is made by a company called Melcourt. And if you're in the UK, you can look on their website and it'll tell you where the nearest garden centre or nursery is, which will sell you a bag of the stuff. I'm not using the special seed compost. I'm just using an ordinary sylvagrow multi-purpose compost. And that's what I grow all my seeds in and pot on into, prick out and pot on. So here's the potting on bit. There's the pot. And I'm making a hole in the middle. I have tamped down the compost a bit. That's what tamping down is. It's basically making sure that the compost is not so loose that it'll fall out, or more importantly, that the seedlings' roots will hit air pockets. A seedling's roots like to grow through compost, not air. If they hit an air pocket, they risk drying out and dying. So I don't want that to happen. But equally, I'm not making concrete, so I'm just gently tamping down my compost, and I've made a hole in the middle, ready for my seedling. Then, this is a bit quicker when I do this on my own, just with the radio, blah 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 blah, singing along with me. But I really could do with putting this on something so you see. But anyway, I will attempt to just dig up. So here is my digging tool, my trusty Niwaki snibs, and which are very sharp. Don't drop them on your feet, they'll cut a hole. But they're dead handy for all sorts of reasons, not just florists. I'm a florist, but I use them because they're a nice sharp tool And you see I've got a big clump of seedlings here. I'm going to dig in here with my Newbery snips and I'm going to hoik out a little clump of seedlings. It is quite exciting, isn't it? When people come on workshops here, we hold lots of workshops both here and online, so do join in. But I quite often say to people, if they're going to start a flower growing business of any kind, that the way to start their social media is to photograph a seedling in the palm of their hand, because it is such an attractive idea. It's so full of promise. I love that. Look, here's next May. It gives me great hope that there is next May in a bunch of foxglove seedlings in my hand. Anyway, enough. So I'm just going to I'm going to fiddle around into the compost. And these have got quite nice big leaves, but I don't really want to touch the leaves, the stem, or the roots very much. So underneath everything, I'll show you, can you see that little tiny, look at this. So here is the first leaf that germinated when the plant germinated, there, that one. And the rest of the leaves begin to look a bit foxglovey. So I'm going to only touch the leaves that germinated first. There we are, really simple. Because it doesn't matter if I bruise them, they're going to disappear anyway. So that way I've not bruised one of the new leaves, the stem, or the roots of the little plant. And this is a really good rule of thumb, whatever you're pricking out, the less you touch the plant, the less you bruise it, the easier it will all be. So here I have my pot, I have my little plantlet, my seedling, I've made a hole in the pot, in goes the seedling, and I just tamp it down. And this is going to go outside because it's pouring with rain and it will get properly watered in by the rain. However, if it were very, very hot and sunny, I would put it in the shade. And in the coming days, if it is very hot and sunny, I will make sure it doesn't get too much sun, because small seedlings really don't like too much sun. They sulk. But equally, if it needs watering, if it's hot weather and we haven't had any rain, needs watering, I will put it in a tray. Here's one I prepared earlier. And water the plants in the tray from underneath. I'll just put some water in the tray and the plants can then absorb the water at their own pace through the compost. I won't just pour masses of very heavy dumping of water on top of these delicate seedlings' heads. I will leave them in their pots until the autumn because they're foxgloves, and I will then plant them out. But the same applies to any kind of seeds that you've sown that have germinated nicely and now would like each to have their own pot. It's like teenagers leaving home. They can all have a little studio flat. Think like that. Anyway, there you go. There's an activity for those of you who've got trays of seedlings and you're wondering what to do with them. Thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. If you've enjoyed this session, then do subscribe. Somewhere there is a subscribe button, and press the bell icon so that you're told when we have new videos to come. The shirt is by Sarah O'Keefe. Gifted. She has a lovely website and she makes beautiful clothes like this. And I hope you have a lovely afternoon. I better get on. There's lots of this to do, and I'm now going to listen to Radio 3 while I do it. See you soon. Bye.